and welcome back to the Sunnybank Farm channel. I thought today I'd give you a quick update on all the things that have been happening here. We have been nice and busy. Currently, one of the main projects we're working on is another custom built by us and designed by us chicken caravan. We have a new flock of chickens coming in the 8th of September. So we are currently underway, it's a bit windy, ignore that, underway in building what has been custom designed by Terry and John, the team. I might put a disclaimer out here that designing and building is not my forte whatsoever. So when I'm explaining to you what we're doing, I'm explaining to you what we're doing based on what I've been told in the theory. So I understand what chickens need. Putting it together is a whole other thing. Being able to use the knowledge we've gained from the last couple of years to build something that's really hopefully minimises as many faults as we can, and we can go through all of what that looks like and why that is when I do the actual video of building it. However, it's an exciting step for our farm, and it's exciting to see how we're going to go with it. We obviously expect to be able to improve on this as it goes forward. Continuing on this chat, I'm having a lovely chat to myself in the camera, but you know, I'm just imagining you guys sitting at home in your pajamas on the couch, or maybe tucked up in a blanket in bed because it's bloody cold, or I don't know, eating breakfast, watching TV. I'm not sure. That's what I'm imagining. That's who I'm talking to, not myself in a paddock or the few animals that I speak to. Anyway, continuing on to our chat, the other thing is this. So this is our hospital. So a warning that this is the hospital chicken. So we have some sick chickens here. You'll see a couple. I can see two here that are quite sick. This one came back yesterday and doesn't look any better. Basically, this is our hospital. That was our first focus. It's named a Skippy Walton Memorial Hospital for disadvantaged chickens. Our farmhand, Alana, made that for me. Unfortunately, we lost Skippy. She lived a lovely, healthy life, but Skippy ended up being the first chicken that went into this hospital. And she lived a long life in here. She was a permanent resident. She had a dislocated leg and would not have done well out in those main chickens over there. So we named it after her. That's our little nod to Skippy. And this hospital was our very first prototype of moving chickens around a paddock. So we actually built it ourselves. It holds 50 chickens. And basically what we do is we bring 6 chickens from out there into here. And the reason why I'm talking about them, people ask me about a lot, because they're wondering what we do with ill chickens, or how we manage animals. And I guess I don't know how everyone else does theirs. I would be very confident some of the larger ones don't do much. That they'd either medicate them, the whole section of flock, when there's some sort of major illness, or they just pick up dead ones each day. Probably very likely how that works. For us, we go out to the main paddock out there and we check them every day because we're collecting eggs and we're doing things. And anyone that we see that we don't think is doing very well, we bring back here. My job. So, like I said, I may not be a builder, but animals and animal welfare is my thing. So that is something that I love to do, even though there's a double-edged sword for loving animals and working with sick ones, because death is part of it. But we bring back the sick ones and we put them in here, and I basically look them over and treat them. No chicken is ever lost in this place without me knowing why or how, when trying to learn and prevent the next chicken. But I would say, one of the questions that I'm asked is, probably 90% of the chickens that go in there come back out. So they go back out to our main flock and they live on and continue. We track them with rings, so I know who's come in and out before. Frequent flyers. And then ones that are permanently injured and maimed. So this one here has an orange ring. She has got a damaged eye on that side. She's an orange ring. She lives here. Any orange ring chickens that are floating around, they residents for us, and I'll either find lovely people that will rehome them, look after them. They still lay, they still work. Usually they have some sort of injury that means that if they went back out, they'd get really picked on and they wouldn't thrive. In fact, they would most likely not survive. Chickens are pretty brutal, and that helps us stay on top of everything. and basically reduce death, but also illness, and keep laying numbers up, keep overall health and well-being up, which is what creates healthy eggs. Anyway, I thought I'd answer a few questions about that. I get quite a few, and I've never actually really chatted about it. So there you go, I've ticked that off the list. Hello. Hi, Ticey Wicey. Hello. Don't hit Ola. Hello, ladies. Continuing on chicken health, one of the things that's been happening with our almost 18-month-old chickens is they've started their molt. Many of you may not know that chickens have their first major molt at 18 months old. That's why a lot of commercial growers, we rehome them at 18 months. A lot of commercial growers don't rehome. In inverted commas, my nicest way of saying they dispose of the chickens. Just can't fathom that. They are perfectly healthy chickens. They do decrease in their egg laying, so we rehome them. So, like, permanently decrease, not just decrease when they molt. So we rehome them to live in backyards and live another good couple of years. But anyway, that's a whole nother story. They are molting now. What happens when they molt is that they have a decrease in their immunity. So they have a high chances of getting sick. They don't carry their worm load as well. Mites could get them easier. All of the things that could get them can technically get them easier. So we've had a couple of sick chickens come back into the hospital. So I'm here now and I'm just going to check out. I want to check them over. I want to have a look for mites. I want to look for a few other things. And when I do that, and then just make a decision on whether we need to do anything to help them out, if there's something else that we can do, or whether this is just part of life. So we want to avoid any major deaths because of molting, which is possible. Excuse the wind, it is windy. The rain is coming, hopefully. Or it's just wind, but instead of watching me talk, have a look at some chickens. Excuse me. These are chickens. No one has been here today yet. So they'll see some eggs on the ground because we haven't collected them yet. Egg collection's probably in the next hour or so. We've got one in the feeder there, not helpful. One down there, but there'll be a few around. So if you're wondering why some eggs are around, no one's picked them up yet. What I'm doing is having a look at, that's a 18-month-old chicken. It's molting from the back. See those feathers on the back of its tail? That's its first sign of molt. I'm going to look for some of these, and I'm going to try and find some that maybe aren't doing as well, and I want to look them over. So I want to check for mites. I'm going to check for signs that they might be too light, or they might have some sort of issues. So that's what I'm doing now. So see if I can find something as an example for you. This one here, that's a classic example of what I'm looking at. That chicken is molting, so let me zoom in. Let's focus on her. So she's not well, you can see. She's got a balding patch on the back. That's a molting spot. She's not feeling good. So what I'm going to look at chickens like this. We'll come back out. I don't want to lose her. I want to find a chicken like that, and I just want to check her. So I just want to see if there's anything that can be treated, or whether this is just part. I mean, that doesn't mean she's going to die. It just means that she's not feeling great. Sometimes that means they can die, but we want to see if we can treat her. Do not go under there. Shed. Sorry, but her. So this is a molter. So this is an 18-month-old chicken. Let's check why. If there's anything that means that she's a reason for being sick, or whether she is just molting and feeling a bit unwell. Her weight. So right now, she's not too skinny. She's not heavy, but she's not skinny. So I'll talk you through, it might be a bit noisy, I don't know if you're going to be able to hear me. I'll talk you through what I'm looking for. Right now I'm looking for mites, like an excessive amount of mites. Occasional mites on chickens is not perfect, but it is. I mean, we've got a flock of chickens, so they're going to exist. Mites are really good to search under the wings or around their bum. What I can see is I've seen a couple of mites, but nothing major yet. Another thing to talk about is that bulge patch there can be due to stress. So if they're not getting predator stress or potentially like a food stress, so if they don't have access to enough food for some reason, or maybe a feed is clogged up or there's something, I need to check. It can be a symptom of that, so we've got to keep a close eye on it. Looking the neck, under the wings and their bum are the places for mites to look for. Or fleas. So I keep saying mites, but mites are usually at night, fleas are during the day. Fleas will make them feel pretty poor, very easily treated. And to be honest, there isn't a lot. Lice is the other thing. I can see a lot of new feathers coming through, or loss of feathers through here. There's no lice eggs. See all this fluff. Let me show you some fluff here. The lighting isn't perfect because I'm inside a van, but see all these fluffy feathers? They're all the feathers that they start to lose. And some of them are coming through as well. They're down feathers. So she is molting. So it's not, I wouldn't say it's stress. I mean, molting is stressful. What I've found with this girl is I've found no major signs of lice. There's no eggs. I've seen no mites. It's dark. It has to be at night time to see mites. Lice, or fleas rather, I saw like one or two, but that's entirely normal. When I look at her weight is okay. Her crop, so I'm feeling her crop, is it super compacted and like too full, and maybe potentially not, she might have a blockage, or coccidiosis is the other thing. Doesn't have that. Her comb is still quite good. She's not feeling amazing, so that could purely be the fact that she's, all of those things I've just mentioned, she might have a little bit of each and she's not feeling 100%. But as when I feel her, I'm putting this down to molt and nothing like a major emergency that we need to do out here. So hopefully that was helpful. I don't know. I'm not sure if this content I'm creating is useful to anyone, but hopefully it is. So I will say, as an egg producer that's on a larger scale, I mean, we're not large, but we're larger than, your backyard hens, we can't have every chicken at 100% health. What we need is them to be at a reasonable health. They're going to have ups and downs in how they're feeling. We want to make sure that those that aren't feeling well are still out here able to have access to food, and they're able to get through what they need to get through, because just like humans, we all have moments of not feeling 100%, like a cold or whatever. I mean, chickens don't have colds that way, but you know what I mean. They have little fluxes of things. We want to then have access to or have the ability to be aware of if that is getting to a point where it's not just a little symptom, or there's a lot of them, or what's going on. So I'm just looking through here and looking at them, and obviously if you're into chickens, you might notice that some of them aren't showing the best signs of behaviour of health. But then I'm not going to take every single chicken that's tiny bit, or 10% down or 15% down. I'm looking at chickens that are below that threshold, and everything looks pretty good. So I'll get a couple more chickens that are molting and double check their lice or fleas or anything like that. But I'm having so far thinking that this is very much a molt thing, that maybe a few chickens that were a bit lower in their conditioning or struggling a little bit might be dropping off, and that is to be expected. Just as an example, there's a chicken over there that was looking. So this one, scratching around there, zoom in, the black one, she's molting and feeling totally fine. So you can see her exhibiting perfectly good signs of behaviour. She probably isn't laying as much. We've had a little dip in our eggs, but not a huge amount. Pretty much exactly how we'd want it to be. Alright, my prognosis, and again, I'm not a vet, I'm a farmer. I do know a fair few things about chickens, but my current prognosis is that it's molt related. There doesn't seem to be any major issues. I'm not saying that some chickens don't have something. We hope that we collect those and bring them back, and we'll see those. But overall, health out there looks pretty good. Let's keep an eye on that over the next couple of days and see if there's anything that we need to do. But that's a pretty good result. We don't want to do any treatments that we don't need to do. So, why would you? for money, but also just for eggs and things. Even if it's natural, let's let them do their thing. And so hopefully you've learned a little bit about molting, a little bit about chicken health, and a little bit about what we do here on the farm. So I have chosen to bring that girl back. The chicken ambulance has arrived.